assimilated into the Low Growl Legion right now, that just means subscribe. Today I want to talk to you about what I've been up to, the things I've been working on, and I'm gonna feature one specific thing. And you could say this is like my, for lack of a better word, I'm gonna say my final contribution to what once was, meaning my teaching career, stuff like that. After this video, I won't be talking about that chapter of my life anymore, unless I think I got something that you would find interesting to talk about in that regard. But when I went out on, well, before I went out on leave, and I think I briefly shared this story with you all, but when I became the club sponsor for the RISE program at my school, I was actually pretty reluctant to take the position, because the previous year it was used as a dumping ground of sorts for the kids that were kind of misbehaving all the time, getting into all types of disciplinary issues and things like that. It was so much so that even like your average kids that got their work done, they were respectful, they came to school all the time, and your above average kids that excelled and made honor roll all the time and things like that, they didn't want to be a part of it. And I mean, honestly, I didn't want to be a part of it because we didn't get to pick our kids. People just administration just kind of put kids in there that they think needed mentorship from a man. And I understand that, but because I wasn't on the inside and I was looking at it from the outside perspective, it didn't appeal to me at all. So the following year, the man that was doing the club, he went to another school, and my administration, they approached me about doing the program, and counselors, they started approaching me about doing the program, and then finally the boys themselves started approaching me about doing the program. So I decided to go ahead and do it. But I was like, okay, I can make this into what I want it to be. So I was like, okay, this club is going to be more prestigious. You know what I mean? If you want to be a part of this club, you got to earn your way into the club. Meaning, you got to keep up with your grades. You got to, don't have a bunch of discipline problems. Don't be getting suspended and into fights and all these different things. I don't want to hear about your other teachers coming talking to me about you acting out and all that type of thing. And I had a lot of guys sign up. I had like 40 boys sign up. Now, some fell off because of sports and things like that, and they couldn't come, and they were more dedicated to the sports than to the club. And I'm like, that's cool, I understand. But the group I was left with, it was still a great group of young men, and even some of the guys that had discipline problems that I felt I could coach them up and kind of bring them up to par. I let them stay in, and things were going really good, and it was developing. Our relationship and bond was getting closer. We were even meeting every week. It was originally twice a month, but in one of our meetings, they expressed the desire to meet up every week, and we did that. But at the beginning, I was looking for material. I was like, hey, I called the man that was over the program, and I asked him if he had any books or manuals that we were supposed to follow for our meetings and stuff, giving us, different topics and things to talk about. And he said, yeah, I got something for you. Brought me a journal. It was an empty journal. It just had our logo on the front, but it was empty pages, nothing inside. So I was like, man, now I got to make up a lesson plan for the club and my regular classes. But I took some time and kind of just thought on it for a bit, and I was like, you know what, this might be a good opportunity for me to contribute something in a bigger way that can help all of the clubs, from the high school ones and the middle school ones. The organization has been in existence for some years, so I was like, well, nobody thought to create a guide that people can follow. And when I started looking at it, I was like, well, the benefits could be exponential. Honestly, it's already difficult getting volunteers to come out and do these type of extracurricular clubs. Sometimes there's no stipend involved. Like I didn't get paid anything extra to do this club, where there were other clubs in the school and those teachers got paid extra to do their clubs, but I got nothing. also, there are a lot of men that have great experiences that they want to share, but after they run out talking about those experiences, there's really nothing else. It's kind of like, okay, that's all I got. But I thought about it and I was like, well, if you have a manual or a guide, it takes all the guesswork out of it, and you don't have to search for materials to, you don't have to think of something every time fresh and new to do with the boys. It's like you can just follow along in the book and just follow the directions. You know, it's nothing too extra. And I think that will increase volunteerism when you have those type of things in place to make it as easy as possible for your volunteers to get in there and get active. So I called the gentleman that was over the club for the whole district, and I told him, hey, I'm going to write the manual myself. He was excited. He asked me to give him a copy of it when I was finished, and I started working on it in January. I finished up about the end of March, and I turned it in for them to review and everything like that. During my time on administrative leave, they called me for a meeting, so I went and met up with them. They had told me that they wanted to review it and everything like that, because my vision was this can be the official manual for the whole district. Like, I wrote it, but everybody can use it. And they met up with me, and they said they loved it. And they told me if I could get the final product to be, I guess, high quality enough that it would fit in on a bookstore shelf in Barnes & Noble, then they would consider making it the official manual for the district and all the stuff like that. So of course, I went back, and because all I had was the draft, I didn't have the finished product. So once I had that meeting, I spent a lot of my time out just refining it, editing and refining and getting the graphics and getting the cover and all those things so I can have a good quality final product. Fast forward a couple of months, I got the final product and everything, and I want to share that with you today. So now you know the whole story behind this book. I know it seems like I went all over the place, but I think you needed to hear the backstory so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from and why I say this is like my last will and testament or contribution, because this goes well beyond me being there physically present. This is something that can be used over and over and over for years, and this is the final product. Now, I know it's going to read backwards on your screens, but it says, unleash your inner titan, empowering boys and young men for lifetime success. If you look at, you see that? It's a nice high gloss finish, high quality pictures and everything like that. Very professional looking. Looks really good. That's the back. I'll read an excerpt from off the back. Alright, unleash your inner titan. Empowering Boys and Young Men for Lifelong Success is a transformative book that sets the foundation for success, strength, and resilience. This holistic guide equips young men with the tools to navigate life's challenges and build a solid foundation for a lifetime of achievement. Prepare to embark on an empowering journey of self-discovery, harnessing your inner titan to conquer life's obstacles and shape a legacy of greatness. I'm very proud of the work I put in. If you notice, there's like this gray stripe across. This says not for resale. This is a proof copy. They send this to me so that I can make sure that it looks like it needs to look. You know, everything is formatted the way I intended it to be formatted, and it turned out great. It turned out great. So I'll show you a few pages. All right, that's when you open it up. You got your copyright page and then the table of contents. So this book has 20 different sections in it, and I'll read through what the sections are. And for some of them, I'll explain a little bit more about what it is. this, but just give an overview. The book, I take a ground up approach, building up the young man from, let's see where you are currently. Like, what is your status in life right now? What are your current situations in life right now? And we're going to build from that. Part one, it says part one, part two, but for the sake of the conversation, I'll say chapter. So chapter one is me, myself, and I. The me, myself, and I section is where they do like a personal inventory of very personal things, like their home living situation, their relationships with siblings, parents, all that different type of stuff like that, who they are, and what their life is like currently. Part two is sex, and I put this up here early, and I'll tell you why. I believe that everything is hypersexualized right now, and a lot of people let sex take precedence over building themselves up personally. It's like a lot of people turn, especially young boys, they turn sex into the main goal. We get peer pressured into thinking like we have to lose our virginity super early and all this stuff like that. But because there's so much other things, or so many other things that are a lot more important than sex at this stage, I'm gonna read you the chapter and how I did it. It's only a couple of sentences actually, and I did it like that on purpose because I don't want sex to be the main focus of any of this. There's too much work to be done. And check it out. Part two, sex. It's that short little part right there, right? And this is what I said. Sex will not change before you experience it. It will always be there waiting for you patiently in the future. Stop rushing towards it. It's not going anywhere. Now, if you're ready, you've got work to do. And that kind of sets the tone. Like, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to build you up as a young man and help you to strive to be excellent on your level. All right, so going back to the table of contents, part three, or chapter three, is your personal brand. This kind of talks about what do people get when they get you. When you come into a place, you know how we wear name brand products, and this is a lesson that I used to teach in my class about your personal brand to my 7th and 8th graders. But we like to wear name brand clothing and shoes and things like that because we believe those brands in essence make our name great. It makes us look better. So we want to be associated with high-end, high-quality brands, and these brands typically are associated with affluence or having money, being excellent in athletics and things like that. Like, imagine Nike. When you think Nike, you think elite level athletes and hard work and discipline and all those type of things, and we want to be associated with those type of things. But I kind of flipped it and said, okay, you are a brand. When you walk into a teacher's classroom, you have a brand on you. What does your brand say about you? Are you a turd? Are you a type of, like, is your brand premium, high quality? Like, are you a student that the teacher wants to be associated with and the parent would be proud to say, this is my child, and people are glad and happy to be your friend because, like, man, you're smart, you help make me better, you challenge me to want to be better? Or are you a bargain bin, Walmart bargain bin, thrift store brand, where people see you and they simply tolerate your presence, but you don't bring anything to the relationship? You have a bad attitude. You're always complaining about stuff. You're always tearing other people down. You just you're a force of negativity. You know what I mean? Do your teachers look at you and they always want to get you out of the classroom as soon as possible for any little infraction? All of this is a part of the brand that you have created, and that chapter just challenges people, or challenges young men about what brand have they created for themselves and how to start changing that. Number 4 is your personal SWOT analysis. That's a business term that stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We all have those things, so I just put it in a way where briefly, your strengths could be like you're really good at reading, or you're good at singing, you're a top level athlete, you have good people skills, you know what I mean? You give good advice, you're really good at math, whatever it might be. Your weaknesses, females may be your weakness, or peer pressure may be your weakness, or procrastination may be your weakness, and we want to turn those weaknesses into strengths. Opportunities. Do you have an opportunity to play sports, or do you have an opportunity to participate in a club or some type of activity or organization? And again, these opportunities, remember, these opportunities are not always going to be there. And that's why I encourage people to take advantage of the opportunities that are temporary, instead of focusing on things like trying to get girls and go out here and have sex and stuff like that. That's all down the line. It'll take care of itself. But the things that you have the opportunity to take advantage of now will not always be here. So take advantage of those opportunities and recognize what you have. The next thing is, hold on. My computer battery is about to die, and I got my mic plugged into it, so I just need to plug up my computer to the power cord real fast. Alright, there we go. Threats. What are the threats in your life? What are the threats that threaten your success, your well-being, and things like that, your self-discipline? Those could be bad friends, bad habits, you know, the things you listen to, the things you watch, the people you follow, and, you know, just the influences in your life. Whatever those threats are, you want to be able to acknowledge them and eliminate them if possible. But if you can't eliminate it, at least be aware of it and tread carefully around those threats. All right, part 5, meaningful change. Part 6, be encouraged and excited. Meaningful change, that part is just about identifying what needs to change and taking steps to change it, how to do those things. Part 6 is be encouraged and excited, and that is telling them to be encouraged and excited about making these changes. You know, be encouraged, like you're going to get down sometimes and it's going to be difficult, but be encouraged because once you make these changes, your life is going to improve. 7, comparing yourself to others. We all do it, but it talks about the dangers of comparing yourself to another person, how it can affect your mental. Part 8, becoming a man. This is, subjective, but in general, it kind of gives just some general things about manhood, some statistics and things about being a man and some of the challenges we face. Attitude. Your attitude is everything, and it talks about the effect your attitude has on every aspect of your life, and how important it is to go into things having the right attitude. Part 10, mental strength. That's self-explanatory, but being able to stand up to the challenges that life inevitably presents to you. Part 11, emotion and feelings, dealing with your emotions and feelings. Part 12, cutting people off, a very difficult thing, very easy to say, but very difficult to do. Physical fitness, you know, just taking care of your physical body, being as strong as you possibly can be, so that you can live a healthy lifestyle and be ready for whatever may come. Grooming, you know, bathing. We talk about, you know, I also put like different resources in the book and stuff like that. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but grooming, taking a bath, washing behind your ears, and putting on deodorant, clean clothes, like basic grooming things that I find a lot of young men, they don't do, you know, taking care of your hair, different stuff like that. And I'll offer some resources at the end of the chapter that they can look up to get some products and stuff like that, specific products that I've used and found effective, and also just some websites and stuff like that. But I do that for almost every chapter. Resources, whether it be a book they can read, a website they can visit, a product they can use, a YouTube channel they can check out. But I try to provide them with resources and things to help them along their journey. Part 15, goals, work, and patience. Part 16, money and service to others. Part 17, becoming a leader. Part 18, commitment. Part 19, dealing with females. And part 20, your own path. I'll rush through those a little bit. But I guess I'll touch on them just a tad. Goals, work, and patience. It talks about setting smart goals, not being afraid of hard work, and having patience to allow the process to take its course and do what it needs to do in your life. Money and service to others. It talks about earning and building up your wealth, basically, and serving other people, and how it kind of works. It's a quote by Earl Nightingale, and he says, to enrich yourself, you must first enrich others, or something along those lines. And that really resonated with me. And when you look at your life, and you look at the most wealthy people in the world, 9 times out of 10, they have provided something that enriches the lives of others around them. They provide some type of product or service that enriches the lives of other people. In turn, those people are willing to give their money willingly to enrich you for the way you enrich them. So it's a reciprocation happening right there, and I kind of talk about that a bit. 17, becoming a leader. It's difficult to lead, but I believe leadership can be learned, or aspects of leadership can be taught. You have some people that are just not leaders. They love to be in the background. They prefer to follow someone else's lead. But I just talk about becoming a leader, what it means, practical steps to take to improve on your leadership skills and things like that. Part 18, commitment. This is a big one, because if you think about it, like right now while I'm talking to you, how different would your life be if you fully committed to the things you start, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's starting a video game, and just being dedicated enough to see it through. Many of us try. There's a quote from Yoda. He says, do or do not. There is no try. Do it or don't. Don't just try it, because when you say I'll try, you give yourself an out. That way, if you don't do well, or if you don't put your whole effort into it, you can say, well, I tried. No, I want people to be committed, and I'm trying to exhibit this in my own life as well. Full commitment to the things I start. I believe all of our lives would be completely different if we fully committed and fully threw 100% of ourselves and our efforts into the things that we get into. But please throw it into positive things. Throw your commitment into positive things. Don't give 100% of yourself to smoke crack. Don't give 100% of yourself to be for the streets. No, do things that are going to improve your life. You know what I mean? Part 19, dealing with females. Now, though I had that brief section about sex, I didn't want that to be the main thing. However, dealing with females is a huge part of the man's life, or the young man's life. So I consulted with different females of different ages, and I came up with this chapter about dealing with females and relationships and things you can do to, make yourself more appealing to the opposite sex. And I ain't gonna say I'm putting them on the game, but in a way I'm giving a little bit of game. But from the perspective of self-improvement, you know what I mean? It's like the things I'm telling you to do in relation to girls, they're just general good tips for life, and it applies to dealing with people and having other people be influenced by you and be attracted to you. But it does, it gives you enough about interacting with females and stuff like that, but actually gives a lot of good information about it. Part 20, your own path. And this is the final chapter, and it basically it's like a send-off, it's like a brief send-off, just letting you know, like, look, your path is your own, run your race, you can't be anybody else, everybody else is taken, so be yourself, and do what you have to do to get the outcomes that you want in your life. Put in the work to get what what you want out of life, treat people the way you want to be treated, all these different types of things. But that is the manual. It's a 6x9 manual. So if you have a book at home, 6x9 and 8.5x11 are like the standard most used book sizes, so you can have an idea of how big that manual is. Now I have one more part, and oh man, I'm getting a phone call. I'll call her back, my wife. But while I was in there having that meeting and they told me to get the finished product to be high quality and whatever, they said, hey, we want you to come in over the summer and help us write a curriculum for the program. And I was like, okay. They showed me this skeleton of a curriculum that somebody else had started, but they weren't even a part of the organization anymore. So I said, look, what if I can give you a curriculum that goes hand in hand with the manual that I wrote? They said, yeah, that'll be great. That'll save us some time putting people together to get this done, and it's already pre-packaged, so you're saving us time and effort and money in essence. So if you can get that done, we'll take that too. So this is the workbook, same title, Unleash Your Inner Titan, Empowering Young Men for Lifelong Success. But right here you can see it says student workbook. This is the 8.5x11 workbook. And like, if you look inside, it has a lot of good things, a lot of sections of the main thing about the workbook is you have, for each chapter, you have a chapter here that coincides with that. But the thing that this has, it has like a little introduction to each part, and it has discussion questions, it has activities, and it has what is it? It has like, what is it called? Final thoughts or something like that. Yeah, there's always like 3 to 4 discussion questions and lines for the student to or for the user to fill out those questions. But also, have a group discussion, and then you have the activities, which can be done by yourself or with the group. And then you have, I'm sorry, it's a brand new book, so pages are not working with me. Closing remarks, that's what it is. So let me just show you real quick. I gotta get ready to go get my wheels aligned on my truck. But anyway, so you have part 9. Then you have the introduction. Then you have the discussion questions. That's 1, 2, 3 discussion questions. And then you have the activity. But it's like, if you look at all those bullet points, each bullet point is a different activity. And then if you need like some scratch paper to write or do your activity on, I provided a activity page so you can write your answers on that page. Now, don't misunderstand. I wrote these for the Rise group. However, these are just as they're meant for individuals to have as well. You don't have to be a part of a group to get these books. Now, Amazon at this point, and I'll link that into the description, and maybe I'll pin the link to the Amazon page in the top comment or something like that. But this is what I'm putting out there, and hopefully my plan is to go and share it with other school districts to see if they want to purchase it, but also any young man. I believe is such a such a need for resources for young men. You know what I mean? A lot of times I see a ton of resources and outreach programs and things for young women, but males are underserved in this regard. So I'm glad I can contribute a part to it. And again, it's not just for schools or groups. Like I would love to see it in the YMCAs around the peninsula and things like that. But also, if you are watching this, and it really doesn't matter how old you are as a man, everybody can learn something from this. Even females can learn something from it. You know, not all the information is transferable, but there's a great amount of information in here that is just as transferable as it doesn't matter who you are, and it's just good information to have. So if you're interested, you know, I'll provide the link so you can get a copy of the workbook or the manual itself. And if you do decide to buy one, all I ask is that leave a good review or a good comment or something like that. That'll help boost up where my book shows up on the Amazon search results. And that's what I have. That's what I've created, and I hope it can make a difference in the lives of some people. Thank you for watching. This was a long one, but I believe long form ASMR is the way to go, because there are videos I watch of different people and I'm really enjoying it, but it's only like 8 minutes or 7 minutes or something like that. And I'm like, God dang it, why you have to cut the video short? Anyways, that's all I got for now. I will see you all next time.